Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. It's your business to really keep track of what's going on. From a legal perspective, you could be building up a business that you're going to have to transfer to someone else because you haven't taken good care of it. My good friend Marc Krasney with the Krasney Law Firm, we like to get him on to kind of give our listeners that information they need to take care of themselves and their clients and their business. How you doing, Marc?
Well, Kevin, how about you?
Well, thank you. Tell us a little bit about the Krasney Law Firm before we get into our topic today.
Yeah, you bet. We started the Krasney Law Firm about 8 or 9 years ago, and it was really in response to many of our customers and clients who said, I'm sick of hourly billing, the surprise bills, and frankly, Mark, we don't call you and involve you early on because we don't want to get a surprise bill down the road. They call and say, hey, that phone call ended up costing me $78 or $94 or whatever. We'd much rather have you part of our management team, pay you some kind of a flat fee. Can you figure out a solution? And so we did, and now we have a model where we charge clients a flat fee each month, and they get access to us, much like you would if you had an in-house counsel. But you don't have to pay salaries and benefits and all that jazz. Clients love it, and most of them have stayed from the very beginning because they know they can call us, get answers, they can get contract reviews, contract drafting, and really we've become part of their management team so as to avoid liability and lawsuits for them down the road.
You kind of have they can have their cake and eat it too, basically.
Yeah, for sure. They don't. The best benefit is in-house counsels can cost $100 to $200,000+ a year, and most of our clients are on a plan that is around $750 to $1,500 a month, depending on their needs. And they basically get an in-house counsel for that price.
Awesome.
And it's a great deal.
Tell us about your what you have as far as a topic for us today.
Yeah, I was thinking about what's happening in the business right now. And in this world, I've seen a lot of clients coming from other states. And when they come from other states, they use whatever documents, contracts, the like from those states to do their business here. Or they just transfer their business and register here as a foreign entity and keep the business where they had it elsewhere. And so they'll call us and say, one, is that a good idea? And two, review our documents. Well, what do we need to do? That's actually a smart client who can get us involved early on. Or they'll say, hey, here's my document that we've been using for 50 years in a different state. What do you think? I'm now using it here. And so really the topic is, what do you do with documents you've used in different states, and is it an issue, and should they be reviewed?
Yeah, okay, very good. So what's step number one?
The answer is yes. If you have a document in a different state, yes, because every state has different laws, and those laws are what apply to the interpretation of those contract terms. And so let me give you a few examples of things I'm going to look at in your document, and if you don't have them, here's what I would be inserting. Biggest thing is, in Texas, the courts will allow businesses to interpret what state contract law to use for that contract. So in that document, I would specifically say, this contract is governed by the laws of the state of Texas. That's number one. Mm-hmm. And because I'm a Texas lawyer, I can interpret what those terms mean and what kind of liabilities you might have down the road so that you can have some foreseeability in your business and know what kind of risks you're going to face. The second thing I would put in there is a discussion about venue. For example, Kevin, you're doing business in Harris County. This is my backyard. This is where I do business as well. I know a lot of the judges. I know how businesses will get treated in Harris County. So I would put in your contract venue for any disputes, Harris County. We'd also have a discussion over, well, do we really want to have a trial? Do we want to go to arbitration or mediation if there's a dispute with our customer? What's our business philosophy? So I'll sit and talk to you about that. And an option I would say is, if you don't really like the idea of litigation, I get that. We would put some kind of steps in there that said if there's a dispute, depending on what kind of business this is, we might start out at an executive level negotiation. We agree by contract, that's what we're going to do. If that doesn't work, we can escalate it to a non-binding mediation. If that doesn't work, we can escalate it to either a binding arbitration, perhaps even a lawsuit, and then you can even discuss whether or not you want to waive a jury trial. Those are all the things that we can easily put into a document that's going to benefit you, the client, and allow you to take advantage of a lot of the benefits Texas law applies to business owners.
Okay, very good. Makes a lot of sense. And you know, even if you are from somewhere, if you can operate out of Texas, by all means, you want to do so because it is one of the most favorable environments. If you've got the legs to do it, correct?
I absolutely agree, 100%. And here's the other thing that people don't realize. I have a client this week who has a business in New York, wants to transfer to Texas or do business in Texas, so he just registered his entity as a foreign corporation. That's all that's been done. That's fine, but let me explain to you what the state of Texas says. We're going to charge you more because you are a New York corporation to do business here in Texas. So to do that filing, right off the bat, without involving me or any other lawyer, is $750 just to register that entity. Say he wanted to start a new business and say it's, Business X Texas. This is his Texas company. To register that is $300. Right off the bat, which one would you want to do?
The Texas company.
Right there, it's $400+ cheaper, and you're not going to risk the assets of your New York company in the event you have a dispute or problem here in Texas.
It's kind of like, again, having your cake and eating it too.
Yeah, those are the kind of things we like to talk to a client about and really work through, because it's not always the best idea to automatically do something that they assume is best.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? A lot of people really act as though the law is purely a defensive mechanism, or they treat it only in a defensive way. But clearly, there's a strategic element to it, and you just demonstrated that today, Marc Krasney. What's your website for people to get more information about your firm?
You bet. It's KrasneyLawFirm.com.
Krasney is spelled Krasney. KrasneyLawFirm.com. I encourage you to check it out. You can also see how to reach out to him by phone. Marc, thanks so much.
Thanks very much.
You bet. All right, when we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdatareview.com, and you're listening to The Price of Business.